You are looking live from Kansas City, Missouri, or as the natives of this fine town say, from Kansas City. Looking live from Kansas City, Missouri. Let me get this obligatory post on Twitter popping. Now we're gonna get this show on the road. Hold on, let me see if I can get there. Come on, come on. All right. So, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, no matter where you may find yourself as you listen to this and you're tuned into, well, I guess today I can't say the only, but one of the only sports podcasts with brains and bars. It's a black and white thing featuring A1 and A Ward. I am one half of the dynamic duo. I am A1. Please remember you can check out every episode of It's a Black and White Thing by going to the podcast app of your choice, searching for It's a Black and White Thing, liking the comment. I'm sorry, comment, rate, subscribe. Same thing for YouTube, same thing for social media. All of those things you can find by searching Brains and Bars, all one word, BRAINSANDBARS, Brains and Bars. Like, share, subscribe, tell a friend and tell a friend it's those guys again. Um, my homie A Ward, he's got a battle coming up this weekend. Shout out to Black Ice Cartel. He may join us tonight. He may not join us tonight. I know he's trying to get things prepared for Hollow. He's got a main event battle coming up this weekend. So shout out to him in his absence. Oh no, I should have turned on my do not disturb. Did I lose y'all? Y'all still there? All right, cool. Sorry, I should have turned on my do not disturb. I got a call. I didn't know if it froze me, kicked me out. So, in his absence, he's got a battle coming up this weekend. Black Ice Cartel, Hollow the Don versus A Ward going down on their league in the cage. You can go to Rap Grid, I believe, and get your pay per view. So, if you haven't done that, please do so. Or please, if you're going to be in the building in Milwaukee, shout out to the whole team at Black Ice Cartel. But I'm not by myself, as you can see by the title. I got a couple of guys with me. I have been on their podcasts here a few times, and so it is time to return the favor. I got JC and Drew in the building from the Field Generals. Gentlemen, what is up? How y'all doing?
Hello. So,
Yep.
in terms of the black and white audience, y'all probably know me from being in the comments on every one of A1 and A-Ward shows from when it comes to battle rap and NFL. But now we finally here in person, so it's definitely good to be here with y'all. Thank you,
Yep.
A1.
Can I do it?
Can
Can I do it? Can I do it?
What's
Can I
up?
do
What's
it?
up?
Do it.
Can I do it? Can I do the intro? Hey guys! Normally you guys see us on our own podcast, bringing you the buffoonery, fraggle naggle, and the mass fuckery. Um, I'm Josh Carroll. That's the black kid, Lord Drucifer. And what? But we are very happy to be here. It's the Field Generals. Um, Lord Drucifer, Josh Carroll. Thank you for having us on It's a Black and White Thing.
Yeah, for sure. Appreciate y'all pulling up.
And definitely subscribe to our channel as well. The Field General Sportscast on YouTube. We stream every Tuesday
Or
also,
Wednesday, depending.
if you're busy. But yeah, feel free to sub to that, like, share, all that.
For sure. Where can they follow you guys like on socials?
Don't follow me. Don't do. Listen, I understand fans may have questions. Follow the black kid, Drucifer. Don't follow me. I'm not.
Hilarious.
Viper on Facebook. What the hell is everything else?
I feel like isn't it Sir Viper on Twitter?
No, that account got hacked.
Or
Lord
is it
Drucifer.
Lord Drucifer? Lord Drucifer.
Yeah, Lord Drucifer 031 on Twitter. Sir Viper 1301 on TikTok, which has nothing to do with sports, by the way. You're gonna see me doing a bunch of crazy shit on TikTok. And Viper, my last name Dene, Denne with the accent on Facebook. Yeah.
All right. Cool. JC?
Yeah, as far as my Facebook, Josh Carroll, real name, no gimmicks, no Obi Trice. Uh,
Oh my god.
I had to. And on Twitter, most of you can find me at the real JC323. That's mainly for battle rap content, but I promote the podcast on there as well. And then same thing on Instagram, the real JC323.
Hey, you mind?
Dope, 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 dope. So we have a dope show lined up for you guys tonight. We're gonna talk a little bit of college football, but then we're gonna jump into the NFL. So I want to begin by discussing college football. So this weekend, in the world of college football, you had Alabama, Georgia, two top five college football teams taking on each other this weekend. And if you stop watching at halftime, you miss an incredible comeback in the second half. You had Alabama who went up 30-7. I was out of town in St. Louis. I missed most of the first half because we were out of town for a funeral. And so we were driving around St. Louis. Interestingly enough, if you ever go to St. Louis, if you want to eat at a non-chain restaurant, you need to do it before 8 or 9 o'clock because most of them close at 8 or 9 o'clock. So that was very surprising. After driving around for a good hour, ended up just eating the burgers at Freddy's because we couldn't find anything else open. So I missed most of the first half trying to find something to eat. Got to the hotel, was able to watch the second half. And so in that second half, Georgia mounts a furious comeback. They take the lead only for Bama to get the ball back one play later. Deep pass from Jalen Milroe to a 17-year-old freshman sensation, Ryan Williams.
That was insane.
Insane. Catches the pass, stops on the dime. Two players run into each other, runs away from them. He is so far ahead of them. He felt comfortable enough to remove his mouth guard, his mouthpiece to start celebrating before he got to the end zone. And that was the game. Georgia mounts one final drive to try to get the victory, but they throw the interception in the end zone to close it. So I guess for me, my question is, and you guys can chime in as much as you feel comfortable. Like, to me, what I want to know is was that the real Bama we saw in the first half or the second half, and vice versa? Was that the real Georgia we saw in the first half or the team that showed up and came back in the second half? So how do y'all feel about that game? What you know about it, what you saw? And what do you think about, I guess, let's say, what do you think about Bama? Is that the real team that we saw in the first half that dominated, or is that the team that sputtered in the second half and needed to have that great, amazing play to win the game?
Josh, take it away real quick. I'm a be off camera for like 30
Yep,
seconds,
yep.
people, but let
I'm
Josh.
a solo you. I'm a solo you, Josh.
Okay. So for me, it's a little bit of both because
Mhm.
we know what both teams can do on their A games, no question. But it also shows how inconsistent both teams can be in a way. It's sort of like I've said this about the Ravens. You could say this about Alabama and Georgia. Like lately, it's been, for what it's worth, a tale of two halves, and you never know what you're gonna get at any given moment. And the fact that it ended up being such a good back and forth at the end was definitely satisfying to witness. And Carson Beck, aka Organic Light, was going off for a little bit.
Yeah. That's hilarious. I'm gonna have to Google Carson Beck because, again, like we said, you brought that up pre-show, and I'm like, yo, I've only seen Organic without shades on like twice. So I need to go to pick a side by side of Carson Beck and Organic to see if that's truly the real thing. So yeah. So Drew, I'm sorry. Yeah, Drew, what do you think?
First off, roll tide. Roll tide. Listen, um, there's two sides of the coin here. Often in sports, except for okay, we're going to say we're going to focus on basketball and football because they're the ones who have half. Y'all know hockey has three periods, and baseball goes until the crows call. You know what I'm saying? We had a West Coast game that stayed until 2 in the morning once, so they don't count.
Yeah.
Basketball and football are a tale of two halves. We see that a lot in the NFL, right? Where teams are built to jump out to an early lead And sometimes kind of wither and gas themselves in the first half, and now they have to quote unquote defend in the second half, and sometimes they get punched on. Um, I feel, and this is the post Saban era, right?
Right.
Um, they're doing really well without Nick Saban, although I would like to see the defense tighten up a little bit. But again, you gassed yourself in the first half to where Georgia felt like, hey, we can make these adjustments in the second half and possibly win the game. They were feeling themselves. They were
Yeah.
feeling like we took the lead, and now all we have to do is just defend. Unfortunately, Bama is still Bama, and they're like, "Oh, you took the watch this." And I think the real, I would like to say, offensively, this is a because Bama is pretty much known for their defensive players. You know what I'm saying? Bama
Yeah.
has produced a lot of defensive players who've gone on to the NFL who've had careers. Eddie Jackson being one of them in his youth was a monster back then. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Just for playing defense. So I think the real Bama offensively is starting to show up to where, hey, we're going to jump out to an early lead, even if the defense is a little gas. By then, it's just too late in the second half. We're going to have such a monumental lead that you're going to gas yourself trying to win the game, and all it takes is a, and we got it back. Okay.
Yeah.
And I like that. Also, I can't give Georgia too much credit because again, roll tide. But I like the fact that Georgia said, "Oh, you're tired. Now it's time to punch you down a little bit." I like that. If Georgia just puts more of a defensive strategy together to finish the game, I think they'll be all right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and honestly, the fact that Alabama specifically has been able to remain such a powerhouse post Nick Saban is definitely incredible to witness. But because at the beginning of the year, we didn't know what was going to happen. Like
At all.
like are they going to live in his shadow in terms of the team success?
Mhm.
And clearly that has not been the case yet. So it is definitely
Hey, Josh, roll tide. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. So speaking of Saban, I happened to see right at halftime, they got a shot of him as he was watching because game day was in the building, and you could see the intensity on his face as he watched that game. And I'm like, I'm pretty sure he feels like if he could somehow still coach and not have to worry about the transfer portal and NIL,
Yes.
he would still be coaching because you could tell that was a man
Yes.
who was feeling the energy in that stadium, everything that was happening, and he was locked in like he was still on that sideline as the head coach. Um,
yeah.
Jalen, it's kind of crazy how when you play a nationally televised game and all eyes on you, your performance can change things for you in an amazing way. And Jalen Milroe was someone who, last year against Auburn, he had kind of the great moment of was fourth and
Mm.
31. They get the touchdown to win the game. He has the
Mhm.
moment going into the bowl game against Michigan with Lank, with let a
Mhm.
naysayer know, which that becomes a classic thing on game day as well. But like I feel like there hasn't been too much in terms of people looking at Jalen Milroe, the quarterback, and going, "This is a guy that could lead an NFL team." And after that performance, I've seen mock drafts come out. All of a sudden, Jalen Milroe is now being placed in the first round of mock drafts, and I want to tell people, pump the brakes, easy, easy, easy. Right? Let's see him continue to play throughout the rest of the season. But that performance for him on that stage against that team is amazing. Kirby Smart has got a little bit of an Alabama problem. I don't know if you guys saw this stat, but he's 45-3 in the last 3 years. All three losses have now come to Alabama, right? So Kirby Smart has got to figure out a way to beat this one team that he cannot beat because it's highly possible that you're going to face this team again in the SEC title game. It's highly possible you might see them in the national title game when it's all said and done. As far as Georgia, I mean, like I have been on record. I said this on the show after week 1 when they beat Clemson, and they beat them pretty convincingly, that I wasn't sure that this Georgia team is very good. And I walk away from this still with major questions about just how good Georgia is. Carson Beck is a kid who preseason was seen as the number 1 overall pick in mock drafts. And it's still to this point, people still see him as a first round draft pick. He struggled, right? Outright for most of that game. Late third quarter, they finally get their first touchdown of the game. And then they just kind of get to rolling into that fourth quarter and almost pull out the amazing comeback. I still got questions about Georgia, right? I mean, they still got to play Texas. They still got to play Tennessee, right? They have two. I think they still got to play Ole Miss, so they still have 2 or 3 more high-profile games left on their docket. And as of right now, I still have Alabama and Georgia playing each other in the SEC title game.
Okay.
But it would not shock me if they dropped the game to either Tennessee or Texas, because that defense, while it is good, you can move the ball in that defense. Clemson had some success moving the ball in that defense. Their quarterback play to start the season was just really poor.
Yeah,
right? Quinn Ewers and Nico. I can't think of I don't know. See, now I need Ward here because I can't pronounce the young man's last name. Ayami Miliava. I think I said it right. Those are decent quarterbacks, and they're capable of leading their teams to victory. So, anything else y'all want to say about Georgia and Bama?
That reminds me of how Drew purposely mispronounces Tua's last name.
It's so like there's too many letters. Tua tongue and Viola Davis and Tua too much tongues and it's like just two. Why is his name Tua? Then it's like TT. Can we call him TT? No, you can't
That's
call him TT.
hilarious.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like it sounds like a hoopty starter. It's like
That's how. You know
yeah.
what? The only reason I was able to pronounce his name immediately. He had a cousin. I'm a Notre Dame fan. He had a cousin that played for Notre Dame. And so I was able to. Got in early on being able to say Tonga Vailoa. Right. Other than that, if it wasn't for that, I would have been in a lot of trouble. Because it is not pronounced the way it looks. I guess yes. Phonetically you pronounce it different than how it's spelled because there's no N anywhere in there. So yeah, I feel you.
Wow, really?
Wait, what? What'd you say?
There's no N in there. Like, am I doing it wrong?
No, you're doing it right. It is Tonga Vailoa.
Oh, okay.
Tonga Vailoa. There is no N in there, right? It's TAGOVAILOA. And I Googled it and have it on the screen on another screen. So I did not just spell that.
Oh, wow. So I've been fucking this up. Oh, damn. Wow. Okay, give me 30 seconds. I'm going to mute up so I can get my last child.
Do you think?
Go ahead, y'all.
I'll solo for this next one. So we're going to jump to the world of the NFL.
Hey, hold on, A1, real quick.
Yep. Hold on. I'm gonna bring you back. Yeah, what's up?
That Kirby Smart about how he's 0-3 against Alabama. I need to get this out before I forgot it. That reminds me of Urban Meyer and how he could never beat Michigan when he was at Ohio State.
I thought he beat Michigan.
Or maybe
Jim Harbaugh. Before Harbaugh couldn't beat Ohio State, right?
Wait, yeah, I might be mixing it. Because I had seen a secret-based video about how like one can never beat the other until like one game close to retirement, and it was kind of crazy.
Hold on, I'm gonna see if I can look it up real quick. Hold on, let me see. Let's see. He coached against Michigan 7 times during his time at Ohio State. He won all of those contests.
Okay, so it wasn't
by a combined score of 275 to 189. So they were kicking tail and taking names during them days. It was Harbaugh. So Harbaugh could not beat Ohio State early on. He lost a couple of games to them, and then he flipped the switch, right? And then they won, I think, the last 3 times against Ohio State. And now Ryan Day, it might be Ryan Day actually, who who's 0 against Michigan. Hold on, let me double check here. Let me check that out. Now you got the wheels turning here. So he's 1-2.
Ooh.
So he's won once. He's lost his last two, right? So again, Nick, I'm sorry, I'm gonna say Nick Smart. Kirby Smart has got to figure out his game plan and how to beat Alabama because it's highly likely he's going to see them again. I think if Georgia, even if they lost two more games, I think they still make the playoffs because the committee's kind of approach is going to be, well, look who they lost to, right? Tennessee's a top 10
Yeah,
team. Ole
yeah.
Miss is a borderline top 10 team. And there's somebody in Texas. Texas is the number one team in the country. So, losing to any of those teams, as long as they don't get blown out, no one's going to look at them and go, oh, well, that's obviously not one of the best 12 teams in the country. People are going to give them the grace and say, yep, you deserve to be in there.
Well, the question about a blowout is, does it necessarily mean your final score is a blowout? Because that first half was an ass whoop. It tagged ass all first. That was a blowout. So that leads to kind of my point of Bama. Well, yeah, the point for Bama
Mhm.
being able to beat you down to where even if your offense is mounting to come back in the second half, your defense has gotten their ass whooped all game, and it only take that one. Hey, remember this? And now we got the lead back. So it's just. I think there's something to be said about even the beat downs that happen because it happens in the NFL too. Hell, we saw it in the what was it? The Slackers and the Cowgirls in the wild card where in the fourth quarter, Dallas starts to come back, but it don't matter at this point. Green Bay done beat you down so bad, it does not. They first string went home. They left. This is the second string y'all playing against. It. Hey, pack it up, boys. We done our work today. There's 3 minutes left. Dak like, oh, there's the end zone. It's like, dude, it don't matter at this point. So it just, I think Georgia. I think Georgia will be okay if their defense catches up and if their offense can make adjustments in the first half. Like football is football. You understand what I'm saying? Obviously,
Yeah.
college football is played on and I don't mean this disrespectfully in the terms of the sport by no means, but I think college football is played on a kind of like a lower tier than the NFL because when you you see the rookies are struggling, right? Caleb is getting he's the next da 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 right, and he's starting to learn NFL speed in real time. It's not like college. Your assignments in college football are not the assignments in the NFL. Y'all are not getting
Absolutely.
the same thing. So
Really.
when you have games like this with young quarterbacks, a young team, and they're blowing you out in the first half, you're not going to do even if you're going against one of the worst defenses, probably the Panthers, the Bengals, like the Browns. You're going to have veteran players that have seen this 8 years before you got here. Hey, I know what to do with this. So you have to. I think it's pivotal for them to get them NFL ready, kind of now. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? Make those adjustments for. Hey, we got beat up in the first half against Alabama. Let's not do that again. Let's make an adjustment. Let's run something very different. I think they'll be okay. But I mean, Tom Brady felt the sting. He ain't never beat Eli Man, and he's never going to. He ain't never beat Eli Manning in the Super Bowl. I think that's going to weigh on him. Eli said, "I got two, and that was my victim. I'm good. I'm cool." So you gotta make an adjustment. That's all I'm thinking.
Yeah. 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 So I agree. I agree. And I'm glad you made that comment about Caleb Williams because I want to take that time to make this segue and let's jump into the NFL. Let us know what y'all think about college football, what y'all think about Georgia, Bama. Let me ask you this last question before we make that jump because I had this quick convo early in the day with a couple of homies in my group chat. I felt like I initially said that Bama and Georgia was a classic. The pushback I got back from a couple of my homies who watch college football, who are definitely heavy college football fans, were like, "Well, the game was pretty trash for 3 quarters. It's really the fourth quarter where it turned up." And I said, "Well, I feel like it was still a great game because to me, when one good team dominates another good team, like to me, that's still good, a good
Mhm.
game, right? Watching one team dominate another one, and then the flip got switched, and then you had." Georgia mount this furious comeback. So, in the eyes of
Uh-oh.
you two, do you think that was a classic game, an game with a great ending, or just a good game all around?
Josh,
Hold on, you caught there for a second. What was the question?
Oh, did you think Bama Georgia was a great game, a classic game, or an game?
I mean, I mean, I think it was a great game considering how it turned out.
Hmm.
But I kind of want to play devil's advocate here.
Okay.
What is your definition of a classic game?
Ooh, okay. So I don't know if there's a set definition of a classic game. To me, I feel like, again, when you have, like I talked about, you had one team that was dominating the other one. It seemed like the game was over. Like there was no point in watching the second half. And especially most of that third half, or second half, excuse me, most of that second half, they were not, neither team was able to move the ball against the other one, right? Georgia scores with about 5 minutes left in the third quarter. Bama comes back and kicks a field goal, I think, to almost close the end of the third quarter. And then you have Georgia score, I think, 19 points, and I think almost 19 unanswered, I believe, in the fourth quarter. And then finally, Bama comes back and hits that one play touchdown for the final margin of victory. So to me, the swings of one team's getting dominated to, oh my God, is Georgia coming back, to the theatrics at the end with the touchdown to Williams. To me, I said I'll walk it back from classic to great. To me, it's just it's it's the totality of the game. How did it
yeah.
start? What was the middle and what was the end? And was I entertained throughout each segment of that? And I was entertained through each segment of the game. So what about you?
Yeah. I can for the most part agree with that actually. As far as what makes a great game, I feel like for me, in my experience, at least watching football, classic games either have two outcomes. Either it was a great defensive battle, or it was an absolute shootout where everyone was making good plays. And I feel like that could very well be a third option where one team like gets a blowout, another team just mounts an amazing comeback, if not almost comeback. It still makes for great theatrics, makes for good TV, heck, even makes for good ratings if you want to go there. So
Yeah.
yeah, I definitely feel like all things considered, it was a classic.
All right. What about
I
you? How you feel?
I say it's a classic because my definition of what is great, good, and classic just varies. I'm just gonna throw some examples out real quick. Um, Brock Lesnar versus John Cena at SummerSlam 2014, where Lesnar delivers 16 suplexes and absolutely puts Cena on his ass. Classic match. You know why? One, I'm a Lesnar fan. I like when the bully comes and beats up the good guy. Screw you. Okay. I want the title. I'm entertained. Are we not entertained? Hey, the C Nation it was like three kids in the audience, right? And the rest of the adults that are supposed to be up past 9 o'clock were like, oh my God, Cena's getting killed, right? Anytime, what makes a good two-part episode in our various superhero series, right? When Thanos was beating the dog shit out the Avengers, were we crying? No. We were like, oh my God, we're gonna,
Yeah.
the doubt I feel from a beatdown. So when we're looking at Alabama just tear shit up, I don't care if Georgia scores a point. Okay. One, I'm a Bama fan. I am highly entertained. Okay. I don't care. I don't care. I don't care if they not the second half come back. Joe, but you know what put everybody on the edge of the seats? Georgia getting the lead. Georgia said, oh, we not dead yet. And now you're like, is Bama gonna lose? Oh my
Man.
God. Right? And then we go,
Yeah.
they had me right there. Watch wrestling matches, right? Modern day. During Roman Reigns' 1,300-day streak, there were times where you thought, even though it's scripted, right? We knew Roman Reigns was going to win the match. But there were times where you like, is he going to lose? Like, is this a possibility? You know what I mean? So I think classic is dependent on how entertained you are. I was
Mhm.
thoroughly entertained, But that comeback, though, there's something to be said about that, scripted or not, because we're on national television. Everybody knows scripted. But there's something to be said about the manner of which you thought for a split second Georgia might have won that. You're like, oh no. Oh, you start calling people, hey, is it too late to take that bet back? Pops, are you watching? Hey, my mom's about to have a heart attack. Could y'all do something? Go get Nick. People were looking at Nick saying, hey, get back on the field. We need
That's
help.
hilarious. That's
So
hilarious.
I'm a fan of one-sided beatdowns. I don't care about it. Hey, people, I understand. You're paying $372 for cable for what? I pay 72.90 something for YouTube TV. That is cheap as hell, and it's on my phone. I don't give a shit. Okay, a one-sided beatdown suits me just fine. I am geriatric as hell. I need a nap. Let's end this. Let's go. So a one-sided beatdown puts this to bed for me. I love it, especially when it's a team I'm a fan of. I know other people are like, I want to be entertained. Hey, go jump rope while the big boys are playing. Okay, football's on, right?
Yeah,
But I also like the fact that Georgia had enough in the tank in the second half to say, let's make it a game. Instead of a classic one-sided beatdown, let's make it a classic almost comeback story. Let's make this a game. So
yeah.
I feel like it's an instant classic. They're going to talk about this. Hey, Bama was whooping our ass. They're talking about it. Bama was whooping our ass. We were able to do something about it, even though in the end it just came down to that one quick shot that cost us the game. And you know what? There's a lot to be said about halftime adjustments, which we're going to lead to in the NFL conversation. But there's something to be said about halftime adjustments, even at that at the college level, right? You
Yeah,
you see things like that in the NFL that mount comeback victories or comeback stories. It's something to be said about them having that awareness in your locker room to say, "Hey, we can't go out like this." Even at a collegiate level, we can't go out like this. We have playmakers. We have a quarterback that's able to. We're good. So what do we need to do? And we don't care if it's Alabama, the juggernaut that is Alabama. I feel like it's a classic game. The people are going to be talking about, hey, people can complain all they want to. It's an okay game. Yeah, but think about this for a second. Would you rather watch them or would you watch the Panthers and the lowly Broncos stare at each other for 3 hours? Like, come on now.
that's hilarious. That's hilarious. So, JC, do you watch wrestling?
Sometimes I used to very heavy as a kid, but now I just occasionally watch it like Raw on USA sometimes.
So I don't want. I'm
Oh,
not going
dude.
to derail. I'm not going to derail the conversation. But Jace, I'm sorry, Drew. Roman
Yes,
Reigns or Cody? Which camp are you in?
tribal chief. But I love Cody. Don't get me wrong. I love Cody. But, dude, the NYE family,
Okay.
I
Okay.
got
I
you.
did. Yeah. I didn't want to. I don't want to. I don't want to derail the conversation talking wrestling. But yes, I definitely a. I have grown to appreciate Cody Rhodes, but it's still Roman Reigns all day, every day. I want the tribal chief to have
Yeah,
the belt back.
yeah. I even though I don't follow it as much as I still keep up with it a little bit because one of my special company teammates, he's a huge fan of it and always like make sure to keep me posted no matter what. So I feel I feel like Roman Reigns is pretty polarizing, and they're gonna root more for the sort of hero in the story, and that in this case is Cody Rhodes. So I feel like it. Obviously, we know it's scripted, but it's gonna come down to who wants it more at the end of the
Yeah.
day.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's later. They're teaming up on at Bad Blood.
Yeah. I'm curious to see that. That's going down this weekend, so I can't wait to watch that and see how that all plays out. But anyway, all right. Let us know what y'all think about college football. Georgia Bama, was it a classic? Can Georgia run the table without losing two or more games down the stretch to make the college football playoff? What do you think about Bama? Is Bama still, are they still rolling tide? Is that still the same team post Nick Saban, or they have some things that need to fix as they try to go undefeated and make the playoff? All right, so let's jump into the NFL. We're going to start with the Chicago Bears, right? Chicago got a win this weekend over the LA Rams at home. They are now 2-2. So with you guys, being Chicagoans, how do you feel about what Caleb Williams and Matt Eberflus and those guys are building thus far? How do you feel like they performed so far this season?
Uh, it's definitely been on the upswing as far as Caleb Williams is concerned. I feel like he's getting more confident with every throw he makes, with every decision he makes, especially when it comes to DJ Moore and flipping those balls up in the air where only he can catch it. Now, mind you, he has had quite a few overthrows that I know he shouldn't be making.
Mhm.
But still, my one gripe with him as it stands is the fact that he continue. Obviously, we know. Before I say this, obviously we know the offensive line is very trash and needs to improve
Super butt.
now before
Super butt.
it's egregious. But even at that, he needs to stop staying in the damn pocket for 5-6 seconds at a time and panic and then stand there and just take a damn sack where you could be just easily step out of the pocket and running and gaining 5, maybe even 6 yards. I'd rather have that than lose 10.
Okay, but like we just talked about, and here's where coming from somebody who played football on both sides of the ball, college football, NFL football, super different. In college, he was able to hold it and dance in the pocket 5, 6, 7 seconds. At NFL speed, you have veterans that are closing that shit and collapsing the pocket simultaneously, 2, 3. So they I just watched their press conference, their little interviews, the press conferences, whatever. I when I wake up from my nap, if they put them out, I'll go watch it. Um, they'll I do like I wake up from my nap. If they put them out, I watch. I'll see what they say. And one of the newspaper people, they kind of asked like, have things slowed down for you NFL level wise? Are you getting more comfortable to the? And Caleb said, I'm adjusting to the NFL speed. College and you're not used to a defensive assignment. You're not used to the defensive linemen tapping each other. Hey, hey, hey! They're pulling a stunt in college. It's pretty much just straightforward. Either we're blitzing or not. In the NFL, where a lot of I say this all the time, right, Josh? You've heard me say it.
Yeah.
Football ain't what we see on TV. The NFL ain't what we see on TV. There is a mental battle that goes on the line of scrimmage. In 2 to no more than 2 to 5 seconds before the ball is snapped, you're having a mental battle with the offensive or defensive line, wherever. So take me a defensive guy. What they're planning to do on offense causes for this guard to pull. I don't think I'm gonna get there because they're gonna double team me. Hey, I need you to pull a stunt so he can get off me, and I have a 1-on-1 to bulldoze this guy. If I don't get him, he's gonna sack him. We need a sack.
Yeah.
This is and the offensive line is sitting there like, well, we're pulling a stunt. He's a vet. He knows that. He might. Hey, I'm gonna need you to stay focused. Don't get tripped up by. So whatever is going on in that 2 to 5 seconds, you can't necessarily talk because you're right there. When that ball gets snapped, everything you just thought has to play out. 9 times out of 10, the offensive line gets beat or they pick up a blitz. Right? Hey, run it back. They're picking up the blitz. They're about to blitz. They're sending the extra man. Hey, we need you to that guy. This
Yeah.
gap is going to open. He's going to come free. I need you to get him. Just buy me a half a second. So this receiver could get. This is all going on literally in 2 to 5 seconds before this ball gets snapped. It's not even talked about. They go in the huddle and call the play. What you
Yeah.
need to do on this line of scrimmage is make sure either A, you're going to get this quarterback, or B, on the offensive side, we're going to protect the quarterback. The problem with the Bears' offensive line is we don't have an offensive line. This is literally sending him. Do y'all remember? Okay, I don't know if y'all have this in Kansas, right? But there was these colorful bulletproof vests you go order off of like Amazon and shit. They're like
Yeah.
colorful. They come in all colors and shit. Like all kids are wearing them. I know I see them. There ain't nary a damn plate in the vest. So it's like these little dudes with these colorful ass bulletproof vests that ain't bulletproof, and they want to get in the shootouts and wonder, oh, he shot me and I got a vest on. You know why? No defense. That there's nothing protecting you. It is cloth against metal. It ain't happening. And I think that's what happening with the Bears offensive. I think it's Nate Davis. Nate Davis don't need a new team. He needs a new idea. He should go coach like golf, like something. He's terrible. He's
He needs
not
to switch
what
sport.
he used to. Yeah, just get the
That's
hell out of here. Nate Davis is terrible. Then, but we've seen this with Mitch. We've seen this with Justin. We've seen this with Cutler. The Bears just since Olin Krutz, we haven't had a decent offensive line. Right? He was a guy that got the offensive line together. Like I can say
Oh,
this for the Cowboys. Travis
absolutely.
is
Frederick.
there. Well, hold on. Before we go, is there anybody on the Bears line that you feel like is pulling their weight, is doing anything to help Caleb out?
The tackles. We
Darnell
have
Wright,
set that.
Wright specifically.
Yeah, Darnell Wright is great. I like Tevin Jenkins. He's really, really good. He just can't stay healthy. I think we've set the
Mhm.
edge pretty good. Our problem is the interior. We need guards to complement the center, and the center can't do it all by himself, right? He needs the guards. If he's getting triple rushed, we need help. So I think that
Yeah.
our problem is more so the guards helping out and what they need to do. Now we got some vets there. I just think we may need one or two for depth chart, especially since Tevin Jenkins keeps getting hurt. You
Mhm.
know, so but the edges are good. I like
Yeah,
the edges.
and honestly, specifically, we need O linemen who can, just play all five positions, and it's a plug and play depending
Yeah,
on
we do.
any given situation. But because it's not just Tevin Jenkins. Braxton Jones can't necessarily stay healthy either, as good as he is. So we're gonna essentially have to really shore up our. I definitely agree with you on that sentiment. We're gonna have to shore up our depth big time and really have that versatile, mobile kind of offensive lineman that can push and pull no matter what situation, whatever it's inside run, outside run, shotgun pass, single back,
Mhm.
and whatever it is.
Yep,
So,
I agree.
so do you all? So I know Matt Eberflus, right? This is his third season with the team, correct?
Yes.
So normally a head coach is given, once they've had a change at quarterback, they're given a couple of years to try to work things out with their new quarterback. However, given what they have done, what Ryan Poles has done through the draft, getting Roma Dunze, trading for DJ Moore, trading for Keenan Allen, right, getting Swift in free agency, do you think that if this team, they went 7-9 last year, is
Mhm.
7-9 good enough? I'm sorry, not 7-9, 7-10. Is 7-10 good enough for Matt Eberflus to keep his job for another year, or do they need to finish above 500 or better?
The problem with the Bears, I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna toss it to Josh in a second. The problem with the Bears is is nobody gets their own quarterback. Everybody inherits. Let's start from the last time Cutler was here,
Mhm.
right? John Fox was here. Cutler had his best season under John Fox. Then they got rid of him. They drafted Mitch and had Mike Noodleneck Glennon. Oh my fucking god! All right. Anyway, Mike Glennon was terrible. So Mitch in his rookie year had to save us because Mike Glennon had shit away the first four games. Right? They get rid of John Fox and we had Ryan Pace, but we just got rid of John Fox. So what did they do next time? Mitch starts, which is essentially his second year was essentially his rookie start year. They bring
Mhm.
in Matt Nagy, right?
Mhm.
Nagy gets rid of Mitch, drafts Justin. Then it's this rollover of inheritance effect. Nobody ever gets their quarterback. Nagy shits away the Justin thing. We bring in Flus. Get rid of Justin, bring in Caleb. Nobody ever keeps their quarterback. The problem in Chicago is we don't let it develop.
Mhm.
We keep just throwing it away and drafting and you inherit. I don't want to see another coach inherit Caleb. I want the team that drafted him, the front office that drafted him, to just develop him. How fair is it that we keep asking these rookie quarterbacks on their first year to save a coach's job. That's not fair. This is my first year. I can only do so much with what y'all give me. Now, the team you put around me is great, minus the offensive line. But who's to say if we don't make the playoffs this year that my rookie takes let you know what offensive line I need next year? And this is the coaching staff that knows that. If we keep firing everybody, then they're just going to rotate and implement their own offensive line, and it doesn't compliment me as a rookie quarterback coming into my second year. So I think the Bears need to stop doing that, firing everybody after 2, 3 years, unless it's just abysmal. But stop firing everybody after 2 or 3 years. I built a rapport with Justin. Would have been great this year with the team that they pulled. With an
Yeah.
offense, you still could have drafted Caleb. Just let him sit behind Justin. We're talking about two young guys who are mobile. Just let Caleb sit for a little bit. Let Justin run all over everything. Look at what he's doing in Pittsburgh. Mike Tomlin said, I got the thing for you. I got a good enough offensive line for you to be you. Brought him right on in.
Yeah.
All the Bears had to do was just let Justin develop behind these receivers because all he had was DJ Moore. Let's just be honest with you. Let's just be honest. All he had was DJ Moore. And y'all said we went 7-10. Let's get rid of him. Why? Y'all could have put this up. He knows the offensive line already. Caleb does not. Drafting Caleb with Roma Dunze doesn't do anything. He's not developed yet. Look at CJ Stroud. The Texans got outed in the playoffs against who was it? The Ravens, right? They didn't get rid of the coaching staff. We know CJ and CJ knows us. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna build up it. We're gonna get you a little bit more help with Stephon Diggs, with Joe Nixon, and we just gonna keep going. Now CJ is comfortable. He getting banged up a little bit because now we know your tape, but now you're comfortable. You could take the Texans past the Ravens now. Now you got the help. I don't want to see Chicago do that no more.
So JC, what do you think?
Yeah,
If they 7-10, does Eberflus keep his job?
yeah, I definitely echo those sentiments for the most part. But my thing with Eberflus specifically is that I don't really feel like he's handling his job with enough of a sense of urgency. I don't think it seems like he's not fired up, for the lack of better wording.
Okay.
He's a mob boss.
It's like he's not necessarily. You see how he handles his press conferences. He's not like fired up like Lovey was, or the kind of like motivator on both sides of the ball that he was.
Mhm.
I'm not saying what works back then would work now, but you still had to be, at the end of the day, a great leader, all things considered. And I don't quite think Eberflus is that. Now,
Wait. Can I ask you this though? Wait. Let me ask you this. Because that's just what we see in the press conference. Who's to say he's not fired up in the locker room?
good
Well,
point.
I feel like Hard Knocks. I feel like Hard Knocks showed gave you a little bit of insight to who he was. Now, maybe he wasn't, giving 100% because I know coaches don't always love to have those cameras in the locker room. But if you
Right.
listen to people talk, the players and the coaches would tell you it's kind of weird at first to have the cameras everywhere you go, but after a while, you kind of get used to it, and they don't even you forget that they are there.
Hmm.
Right. But I mean, I feel like Hard Knocks gave us a little bit of insight to who he was. I mean, I personally liked him having the one-on-ones with Caleb to talk to review game tape to go, okay, what was happening here? Right. Walk me through what you were thinking there. And honestly, the Nick Saban, having Saban there to kind of give him some insight of, hey, I always wanted to build my quarterbacks up, right? I didn't want to tear them down publicly. Maybe privately I might have a stern word for him, but publicly, I always want to try to build them up, let them try to work things out. So I think Eberflus, I think if he can increase the win total, even if it's by one, if they can
I
get
think he
to 8
stays.
wins this year, I think he's going to keep his job. I think if it falls apart and they go 6-11, they go 5-12 or something like that, I think that might be enough to get him kicked out of here. So I got a couple of minutes left. I wanted this last topic I want to get to. Devontae Adams has requested a trade from the Oakland Raiders.
Unsurprisingly,
The Say it again.
unsurprisingly.
I said Oakland Raiders. My bad.
No, no, no.
Excuse
It's still
Oakland.
chocolate. It's still chocolate. They just moved to Vegas. It's okay. It's still
I,
chocolate. It's all
I
right.
still feel bad. I feel bad for them. They've lost everything. The Warriors skipped town, or at least moved across the bay. The A's are leaving. They lost the Raiders. So anyway, he's requested a trade, and he said that he prefers to go to the Saints or the Jets. What First of all, if you were the Raiders brass, JC, I'm gonna start with you. If you were the Raiders GM, would you trade Devontae Adams? And two, would you trade him to his preferred destination?
First of all, yes, because it's obvious that their defensive side, it's obvious that they're going to go nowhere with the current roster as it stands. So they need to
Mhm.
sort of start tearing stuff down while keeping Max Crosby, because we know for a fact that he's a standout linebacker, and that's the foundation that they got to build around defensively. No question. But as far as Adams specifically, he's always been griping about how he wanted to play with Derek Carr. And where is Derek Carr? The
New
Saints.
Orleans. Yeah.
So and if
No.
they're improving offensively, that would be a perfect fit for him right now, especially with Chris Olave. Him and those two would make a great 1-2 punch. And then you got Rashid Shaheed doing his thing on occasion when he comes through when it matters. Like, it would be a great situation for him to be in.
Can I play devil's advocate with him real quick?
Sure.
You're the okay, Josh. Stay. You're the GM of Raiders, right? Like you were just were the what Max Crosby building, um, and but trading Devontae Adams, right?
Yes.
If I'm the Saints, I want Mad Max too. I want Mad Max. I want Mad Max. What? I want Mad Max. I'm sorry if we're and I understand not to step in. I'm gonna let you finish your point, but I'm just playing devil's advocate before I get to my point. I want Mad Max. If y'all are gonna give me an offensive weapon, why not take the deep? If y'all are rebuilding, rebuild all the way. Ding. Hey, what's it gonna take to give me both of them?
Click. Click.
Yes, I understand.
Click.
I'm with you. I don't think the Raiders make that. I don't think the Raiders make that trade. But we all know if you're going to rebuild, draft capital is a thing. If the Saints are willing to give up draft capital,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
mean,
yeah. But if the Raiders are smart, they wouldn't do 2-for-1.
who said the Raiders are smart? They got Lou Getsy as the offensive coordinator.
that's hilarious. That's hilarious. I mean, look, if you're going to like Josh said, if you're going to rebuild, I'm not going to send you both to the same team. I'm going to send
True.
I'll send Devontae to New Orleans, which again, to quote Cat Williams, Devontae's allegiance to losers is unnatural and not like him. Respectfully. Listen, I get it. Derek Carr and Devontae are homies. They go back to school at Fresno State. That's fine. Look, we all got homies who do things and they're mid, but we support them anyway. You can support Derek from afar.
Wow.
Respectfully, you can support Derek from afar and cheer him on and go to play with the Jets or go to Washington. If Kansas, now granted, they're never going to trade with the Kansas City Chiefs, but if, the Chiefs come calling and saying, we'll send you a second round pick, that's what y'all said y'all wanted. Yeah, man, like do that. But nah, man, going to New Orleans is not the move because Derek Carr, respectfully, decent quarterback, not a championship caliber quarterback. And unless his whole point is, I want to rack up stats. Now, if he wants to rack up stats, you're going to play with your homie because your homie's going to make sure if nobody else eat, he going to make sure you eat.
Well, okay. Devil's advocate again. He may not be a championship caliber quarterback, but he got a championship caliber New Orleans team right now. Okay, quarterbacks behind a good team can win a title. If Mitch did not have a goddamn Tupperware toe kicker in 2018, Mitch would have got his ass to the NFC Championship. I swear to God, if I see Cody Parkey, I'm gonna break his toe. I
Hold
swear
on,
I'm gonna break his toe.
let me see.
Swear I'm
Let
gonna
me
break
hold
his
on. Let me
toe.
look at. Let me see who won the title that year. Who won the Super
The
Bowl in
Patriots.
2018?
It was the Patriots. Tom Brady beat the Rams. It was the lowest scoring Super
There,
Bowl.
you are not going to convince me in the slightest that if the Bears, you said the NFC
I
title.
said I said NFC Championship.
I don't think they would
No,
have won
wait, wait,
that.
wait, 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 wait,
They're not beating
wait,
the
wait, wait.
Rams.
Yes, we were. We already beat the Rams in regular season and
I'm,
convincingly. And remember, the Rams were the toughest team to beat, and that defense stopped them. And we talking about beat them down with a safety. They scored a safety, and Jared Goff that year. The Rams scored one touchdown on offense, it was, and the rest was field goals. And the Bears were beating their ass. That's when we got Khalil Mack for the first year, and Khalil Mack was on fire. We'd have beat the Rams. We possibly, if we'd have got past who the Eagles went to beat, if we got past the Saints, we'd have possibly got a trip to the Super Bowl. And the way they played in the Super Bowl, we'd have probably won that. I don't give a shit if it is Tom Brady. That defense was elite that year.
Yeah.
excuse
Because
me.
you had a prime Khalil Mack, Eddie Jackson, Adrian Amos.
Akeem Hicks.
Yeah, absolutely. That
We
he
had
was
Prince Amukamara. We had Bryce Callahan on the bench. Who was our number one corner? Amukamara and
Al
oh
Fuller.
shit, Kyle Fuller. Boy, Roquan Smith was a rookie. He was back there with Danny Trevathan. Come on now, the Bears was tearing shit up. If that damn Tupperware toe ass kicker, I swear if I see Cody Parker.
That's
But
the loudest doink I've ever heard off a crossbar in my life.
bruh,
It's like they turned the sliders up on the sound just so you could hear it. Yeah,
Jessica, but you're going back to the Saints. If you have a great team behind an okay quarterback, which he's servicing New Orleans right now, and for the life of me, I don't know why y'all don't start Taysom Hill, but whatever. If you have an okay quarterback behind a great team, if you just build it, you have a shot. If you get Devontae Adams down there, it depends on what you have to give up. And I'm with y'all. It may come bite them in the ass just because you want your homeboy to come play with us. I say he does go to the Jets because if you fuck up and you send him to Washington with Jaden Daniels, the I want to call them the Redskins so bad. Washington is running away with that division. You give him a weapon like Devontae Adams. I don't
to go with
care if.
McLaurin.
Thank you. McLaurin could be your touchdown guy. I just need Devontae Adams to pick up third downs. I don't care. Jet
Yeah,
sweeps, whatever it is, whatever you can do for me as a young quarterback to make my job easier,
and, and
then okay, cool.
actually, now that I'm thinking about it, Garrett Wilson is not it at the number one wide receiver for them at all.
Really? Why you say that?
I think Nathaniel Hackett is the problem. I don't think it's Garrett Wilson. I think it's Nathaniel Hackett.
Yeah.
It
Yeah,
his dad stunk as an offensive coordinator, and the apple didn't fall far from the tree.
The apple didn't fall at all.
we
The
all
apple just the
we
apple
all knew
stuck up there.
we all knew that was the case in Denver with a lot of those horrible play callings that year. But see, the thing is, remember, Aaron Rodgers made Devontae Adams who he was.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I
Rogers makes a lot of receivers. Yes.
I feel like in a sense, if he reunites with him, that offense is gonna have a better chance to be great,
Okay.
especially.
All right, so final 30 seconds. Devontae Adams ends the season playing for who? Josh,
Jets.
Drew.
I would have to agree to Jets.
It's 3 for 3. I think he's going to end up in New York. I think that's where he really wants to be. And I just feel like we'll see what if that can infuse some life into the offense. So we'll see what happens. So y'all let us know what y'all think, man. Where does Devontae Adams land? What do you think about the Bears offense? Is Eberflus going to keep his job if they do not increase the win total this year? You can hit us up on social media, Twitter, IG, Facebook at Brains and Bars. And as always, please remember you can check out every episode of It's a Black and White Thing by going to the podcast app of your choice or to YouTube, searching for Brains and Bars. rate, comment, subscribe, share the broadcast. Tell a friend to tell a friend. It's those guys again. Until next time, it's been a black and I
And
guess field general and white. There you go. JC stepping in. Thing, man. We holler at y'all tomorrow, Thursday night potluck. I got my homie, the Los Factor, from Talk That Real podcast pulling up. So pull up if you got a chance. Come holler at us. We're gonna be talking about the Dallas Cowboys because he's a Cowboys fan. Might be talk a little bit of Adele as well, but there's a story behind that. We'll get there when we get there. But anyway, we'll holler at y'all. Y'all be easy. Until next time. Peace.
Yeah.